Hello everyone, my name is Victoria Toeda and welcome to my presentation Cybersecurity, Governance and Data Protection through AES Encryption. This presentation summarizes the key findings from my written report and my practical demonstration of data encryption. I'll begin by explaining the main cause of cybersecurity failures in governance, then discuss the business and regulatory impacts followed by my AES demonstration, and finally share practical recommendations and reflections. The goal of this presentation is to show how cybersecurity is not just a technical concept, but a strategy necessary for every modern organization. So, in part A, identify several major in-governance failures that contributed to cybersecurity weaknesses. The first issue was the lack of employee awareness and regular cybersecurity training. Many data breaches are caused by technological flaws, but by human error, such as clicking on phishing emails or using weak passwords. Second, there were weak access controls. Employees often had access to system and data beyond their responsibilities, which increased the risk of internal threats. Another problem was poor data management. Sensitive data was not properly encrypted or monitored, making it easier for attackers to steal or manipulate information. Finally, the company had to effect incident response plan, which means that even when a breach occurred, the response was delayed and uncoordinated. Together, these government's failures created an environment where cyber threats could easily succeed. The government's failures had serious business and regulatory consequences. From a financial perspective, cybersecurity incidents often result in large losses, including system downtime, stolen assets, and the cost of recovery. There are also regulatory risks under privacy laws such as the GDPR and other national data protection regulations. Organizations must protect customers' information. Failing to do so can result in heavy fines and legal action. However, the most damaging impact is often the loss of reputation and customers' trust. Once clients feel their data is unsafe, it can take years to rebuild their confidence. Therefore, strong governance is essential not only to avoid penalties but also to maintain the company's credibility and operational stability. So in part B, I demonstrated how encryption protects data using the AES 128 algorithm. I used the online tool Crypt to simulate the process. The first screenshot shows my setup. I select AES 128 in CBC mode and enter a 16-character custom key and initialization vector or IV. The second screenshot displayed the cybertext, which is the encrypted version of my message. In this case, I use my student ID and my name as the input message. The encryption transformed it into a complex sequence of hexadecimal values that are unreadable without the key. The third screenshot shows the decryption process. Using the same key and IV, the cybertext was successfully converted back into the original text. It's important to note that AES is a symmetric algorithm, meaning the same key is used for both encryption and decryption. This demonstrates and highlights how strong encryption can ensure confidentiality and integrity of sensitive data. Based on my analysis, I developed several recommendations to strengthen cybersecurity governance. First, organizations should really invest in continuous cybersecurity training for employees. Most attacks exploit human mistakes, so awareness is the best first line of defense. Second, enforce strong password and access control policies. For example, multi-factor authentication and the principle of least privilege. Third, encryption should be applied to all sensitive data, both at rest and in transit. AES encryption, as I demonstrated, is a reliable and efficient method. Fourth, regulation software updates and patches are necessary to close security vulnerabilities. Finally, every company should have a clear incident response plan to can act quickly and minimize damage in case of breach. Reflecting on this project, I learned that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility across the entire organization. The AES demonstration showed me in practice how encryption works. It transforms information to an unreadable format, keeping it safe from unauthorized access. I also realized that security governance failures often start with management decisions, not technical ones. When leadership doesn't prioritize cybersecurity, the entire organizations become exposed. Therefore, IT security must be viewed as a business priority, directly linked to reputation, trust, and long-term success. In conclusion, AES encryption and strong government frameworks are fundamental tools to protect data, maintain compliance, and ensure digital resilience in today's connected world. Well, that's all. Thank you for listening.